Today's topic, the 5 fastest ways to make $1 million. Sounds extreme, but it's not, and I want to explain it to you. Now, first of all, let me set some context and disclaimers for the fuckboys and trolls out there. Is what I'm about to give you is more so a framework and foundation, right? There's not necessarily there's not necessarily a fast way to make $1 million, or is there? Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of spitball based off of a lot of relationships I've met with people who have made $1 million so many different times, and doing an all right job myself here, and just talk about where I see the speed come from. If that's cool with you guys, if I can talk about where I see the leaps and the bounds when people see it, where it feels like it's overnight, what's actually happening behind the scenes. And number one is leveraging current relationships. Now, I don't mean that in regards of like your friends, etc., even though that can be a part of it. But I mean leveraging your, let me rephrase, leveraging distribution. That's a better way to put it. Number one, leveraging distribution. Now, what does that mean, Billy? So I've talked about distribution in the past, but distribution basically is the ability to make offers on demand. For example, right, if I got an email list right now of 500,000 people, I can send an email out to 500,000 people and ask them if they want to buy something, right? Or I can send a text message to 150,000 people and ask them if they want to buy something. I can, go Facebook Live, and then, the handful of you guys show up live, but then I can post it on Instagram and YouTube and ask a few thou wow, as E40 would say, to buy. And that's distribution. That's really the magic. And, pause right now and ask yourself, well, if you want to make a sale right now, what can you do? If the only thing you can do is post to your friends on your Facebook, that small amount percentage of people that actually sees your stuff, well, your hands are probably tied, and your ability to implement strategy number one is going to be difficult. But that's the magic in it is, the reason why the rich get richer is for several reasons. But one reason is because they take the assets from a current business and they forward it to a new one. So I'll give you a great example. Over the last 7 years, 8 years, I've built up a strong brand in the entrepreneurial space. And I have a lot of entrepreneurs who may open up their ears to listen to me. And if I make a recommendation, a lot of them will follow suit. So if I today decide to start another company, let's say I start a credit repair company, right? Now, why credit? Well, it's something that my audience all needs. As entrepreneurs, especially, credit's a big part of our game. If we want to take out a loan, if we want to take out a business loan, if we want to buy things and live a certain lifestyle, credit's used for to build wealth. There's a lot of wealth strategies that go behind credit. So for entrepreneurs, credit is even more essential for most at a lot of times. So if I decided to start a credit repair service, because also along the journey of entrepreneurship, our credit gets jacked up. So I posted on IG the other day that my credit score used to be in the 400s, and now it's up to almost 770 or something like that. I want to get into the 800s clubs, but whatever. Okay. So if I send out an email right now to my people and I say, hey, for X amount of dollars a month, I'd be more than happy to fix your credit. Now, where's the speed come in here? Is this. Because of the brand that I've built up, I can also send out an email before that and say, hey, who already has a strong credit repair business? I can vet X amount of businesses, find the one who is actually on top of their shit that I believe in, that I trust, and then I can literally take my customer database, tell them all to buy this, and boom, all of a sudden I have $1 million. Right? Because I'm just making an offer to my audience and having someone else provide the service. So this is how people, when they go into mogul mode, they do it. When you see like athletes, or you take Shaquille O'Neal, who has so many different businesses, starts so many businesses, what he's really using is leveraging his brand to set things on fire. And that's where the speed comes in, right? So for example, if Shaq, huge person, if Shaq says, hey, I have a brand new online basketball course that I'm launching, whatever the fuck, right? He's going to make $1 million almost overnight because he's able to leverage that relationship. Now, some of you guys are listening saying, that's great, but Billy, if I don't have that, what do I do? Well, one, you're not the only motherfucker watching these videos. Some people are already successful and have their shit together, and they're trying to figure out how to stack their money. So if you're one of those that falls into this category where you've already spent the time, effort, and resources to build an asset, ask yourself, what else does your audience need, and who else can operate and send it there? And these are some of the strategies that I'm currently working on in the back end right now. So that's where this is coming from. Now, the other side, if you're like, well, I don't have that, Billy, well, think about this. somebody else does. So if you have strong sales ability, which some of you guys do, you can sell someone unlike me on leveraging my list to go to your product or service. I mean, in a hypothetical world, right? You can just, if you have a new drink, you can go to Coca Cola and get them to say, hey, promote my drink. And then all of a sudden, you would make a shitload of money at night. That's what the big boys do. When you meet the multi millionaires, billionaires, etc., they're going all about speed. That's why they use funding, is they will buy the best talent, they'll buy the best resources, they'll buy the best partnerships, and they spit out cash like it's nothing, and they jump through so many of the hoops, right? But don't forget, just because you don't have the customer, you don't have the list, somebody else does, and all of those people can be sold. So I gave the example of like, Coca-Cola, like just promoting your drink or your soda or your whatever the fuck you have, right? And some of you are like, oh, yeah, I'm going to get Coca-Cola to do that. That's realistic. Well, that's why you're fucked. See, the true mark of an entrepreneur is creativity, right? Somebody else goes all in on solving that one problem, creating that one relationship, and boom, they spike their shit, and they do it with, a lot less risk, etc. But that's, again, I gave an extreme example too, mind you, Coca-Cola. But you got to remember, there's businesses out there all the time. Another way too, going to is existing businesses, leveraging an existing business. So, I'll give you a great example. So Kevin Harrington came in here not too long ago and was teaching, and he said he used to work at a business broker. A business broker is someone who buys and sells businesses. Now, right now, you guys can all go to your computers. You can type into Google and type in, businesses for sale in San Diego. It doesn't have to be in San Diego, but whatever. Businesses for sale in San Diego. And you're going to get a long list of companies that are for sale. And some of them are cheap. Some of them are like 50 grand, 100 grand. Now, some people are like, well, that's not cheap. How do I get that? You don't have to. See, when you have good credit, see where I'm going with this? You can buy those companies sometimes for like 10 grand down and then make some kind of monthly payment options. Now, everybody can get their hands on 10 grand, right? Or work and save up enough to get 10 grand. And now you can all of a sudden, you can buy a company. Well, you say, okay, well, why would I buy a company? Well, because maybe sometimes it's the fastest way to $1 million. Meaning, you may have a company that's just really bad at marketing, but has amazing product, amazing service, amazing retail space, amazing everything. They just didn't know how to sell shit. So if you know my skill set of advertising, I can go shopping for businesses right now, do a way better job advertising, already have all the infrastructure there, find an operator to do the damn thing, and boom, it's speed. See, this is how the big boys think, is they think about leveraging assets. They're not in the business of starting everything from scratch all the time. Now, I'm glad I did start from scratch because it's given me the foundation to understand how to do things at a higher level. Also, too, other thing, in regards to actually, let me pull up my chat. I'm sitting here talking. I don't even got my chat up because I was in the zone. A little bit of a different topic today, you know what I'm saying? Hold on, y'all. Give me 2 seconds here. Got it. If you're watching on YouTube after the fact, then you can just fast forward. You know what I mean? You got the controls. All right. So this is going a little bit slow here. All right. Well, I'll pull you guys up when this shit pulls up. Other ways that I've seen people make money really quick, and that third thing is obviously like investments. What you learn about money is like, it's totally one of those things. It's like, it's so hard in the fucking beginning, I'm not gonna lie, but then like once you get it, just options come up. So I got a friend who just sold a building in, I think, 18 months, and the difference in the spread was $1 million. Now, how did he do that? Strong credit, strong relationships with the banks, was able to buy this building in an auction, etc., and then he was able to flip it. So in other words, like, what's the way to make the money fast is just make bigger deals. But a lot of the times is you can get your hands on the capital to do these things with creating the right relationships and saving money, etc. But a lot of time you don't have the expertise, And one of the fastest ways, actually, this is not a fast way, one of the safest ways to always make money is to continue to learn how to make money. And here's what I mean. It's like the more tools you have, the more you can do. I'll give it to you in a different perspective. Like, if my only skill set that I have is that I'm a graphic designer, well, I can probably make some cool money, right? Because I can, do some cool graphic design shit. But it's not going to be anywhere near the amount of money that the graphic designer and the salesman makes. So imagine a graphic designer who also has the skill set of that of a salesman, right? They're always going to make more money because they can just sell their shit better. Now let's take the graphic designer who's also a salesman, who's also good with video. They can probably get a different project because they have a bigger scope. I guess what I'm telling you is like, right now your income is based on the fact that the only tool you know how to use is a hammer. And I hate to break it to you, but you can't build a house with just a hammer. You can build a part of it. Maybe you can put together like the floors or something and nailing something together, but you only get paid so much of that for that, that particular expertise. So one of the free things that you guys can do to make more money is keep adding tools to your toolkit, right? If I have a hammer, a screwdriver, a jackhammer, a bulldozer, a crane, there's all kinds of ways I can start making money because I have all these tools, because I go, oh shit, I have a crane here. Not only can I build a house, I can start an entire new business with that crane, just delivering jacuzzis to high rises. It's like, what? That's so strange, right? In other words, my point is invest into your creativity. Does that make sense? Invest into your creativity. Like, the more skills that you have, the more ways you understand of how to make money. Like right now, my skill set is in understanding how small businesses work. I know marketing, sales, etc. But where I leave a lot of money personally on the table is my lack of knowledge in regards to investing, how to make your money grow, more knowledge of the stock market, more knowledge of real estate, more knowledge about mergers and acquisitions. Now, these things are free to learn. And here's the thing, like you'll make relationships where people can just kind of speed you up. That's a fast way to do it. But if you don't have those relationships, you guys realize that a lot of these really successful people, their greatest life's accomplishment is put into a book. You guys, motherfucker, you can buy a book on how to do shit right now for $5. You can get it. You probably have free credits from audible.com and you can download an audiobook right now on how to do this, but you're not investing to your skill set. So you're looking at your bank account, you're mad at your bank account, but what do you really know? What can you really do? You haven't invested enough into your skills, right? And so I don't want to, derail and tangent for so long, but if this is helpful in the chat, scale of 1 to 10, how helpful is it to have this conversation to start thinking differently? 10 being really helpful to just kind of have this open-ended conversation, and 1 being, no, not at all, right? And also, too, the one thing I will tell it, kind of like warn you against is, before you dabble in any of these ways to make money, don't just go in and play. Now, here's what I mean. A lot of people, you see from the outside looking in what somebody's doing, but you don't know what's actually happening behind the scenes, the operation or the operator. You don't know much about it. And this is usually when people make mistakes. So for example, you watch the news and everybody says buy real estate. So you go out and you buy real estate, but you didn't realize the person that you were following wasn't talking about residential. They were just talking about commercial. You didn't realize that the person talking was talking about buying real estate, but not using your own money. You didn't realize the person, you know what I'm saying? There's so many things. So in other words, don't assume. When you assume, you always make an ass out of you and me, right? Assume. You make an ass out of you and me. So, I highly recommend that everybody, like, when you want to get into this game, the best way to do it, and I know it's not the fastest, it's not the sexiest, but find someone who's already doing it and sit on the sidelines and watch them up close. Look over their shoulder.